gather round, ye brave young knights, to hear this fabled story.
Adventures of the Swan Table and of Dragon Glory.
In careful war in the golden female fire, we must confess we do our best to hide the king's red eye. We're dragons and we're proud to say we fight for honor and we don't get paid. We're not damsels in distress, you can bet we're at our best. Blazing dragons, we will save the day.
The silly scale is broken. It's the only explanation for that ridiculously high reading.
There, my queen. Is there anything we can do?
No, but you could initiate a search for the ruby hat of Omar the Ham. It was stolen.
Your ham was stolen? Was it glazed, perchance? We could check everyone for sticky fingers.
Not a ham. The ruby hat of Omar the Ham. The ring you gave me as an engagement present.
Didn't you buy that from Omar the Ham? The greatest actor in all of Constantinople?
That ring must be found, and I know just the dragon for the job.
By remarkable coincidence, we proudly present...
All the way from London, the one, the only...
Sir Locksmith of Holmes, at your service. Yes. Now, Mr. Watson here has informed me that the ruby hat of Omar the Ham has disappeared. When did you last see it, milady?
I wore it to dinner last night as usual. Upon retiring, I placed the ring under the mattress. Then I applied a light dusting of talcum powder, as is my routine. Then I went to sleep. When I awoke in the morning, the ruby was gone.
So the mattress had to be lifted with Queen Griddle on it? Impossible! Interesting.
Check the hospital for hernia victims and we'll have our thieves.
Let me examine the scene of the crime. A fascinating little case. From the very clothes that you are wearing, I have deduced that each and every one of you had a motive. Sir Blaze wanted the ruby so that he could finance his own touring performance company. Sir Bernavere required the riches of the ruby to create a first-rate education facility. King Allfire toyed with the idea of rewriting the entire code of chivalry. If he could sell the ruby, he would have almost enough money to purchase the paper needed for the epic. Even Queen Griddle is suspect, as she could have created the theft as a hoax to divert attention from her recent weight gain.
Alleged weight gain! Nothing's been proven.
Quite right, milady. For Sir Lancelot, the ruby would allow him to graduate to full-time loafing. A very complex puzzle, my friends. Yet, through my keen process of elimination, I have uncovered the guilty party, whose name is... Is anyone interested?
Oh, certainly, Holmes. You were just going on a bit and we got a tad bored. Well, who done it?
The thief is Sir Lancelot. Perhaps you would care to explain why your footprints are in the talcum powder on the floor of Queen Griddle's bedroom.
Lancelot, you devil!
Yes, Lancelot, do tell us.
Well, you see,
Clicker! Cinderella, take Sir Lancelot to the dungeon until his memory improves.
Queen Griddle, I shall not rest until I have recovered your ring and solved the riddle of your mysterious weight gain.
I had no idea that this detective work was so physical.
We should ask for danger pay.
He should be searching for the real thief instead of wasting time researching the Queen's diet.
The real thief? You mean Sir Lancelot didn't do it?
Sir Lancelot could never pull off a heist that clever. He'd have made me do it. He must tell us what he's up to.
Now, are you sure you don't care for a mushroom?
go peddle your produce elsewhere.
Good day, Lucky.
Oh, goody. Here comes the other half of the salad bar.
Don't mention that we're forming a quartet and there's an opening for a tenor.
Hello, lads. Can we have a moment with your mate there?
Flicker, get me out of this cesspool before I start to sprout roots!
It would help if you told me what you were doing in Queen Griddle's room last night.
I was simply going to adjust her wretched scale so that it would indicate that her royal tonnage had decreased in weight rather than increased. Suddenly, the great whale rolled over, taking me by surprise. I then narrowly escaped out the bedroom window and into the moat.
But why didn't you say that when you were accused by Holmes?
I didn't think her imperial hugeness would be receptive to further discussion of her personal immensity. You must find the ruby hat of Omar the Ham and clear my name.
The ruby hat of Omar the Ham? Perhaps the ghost stole it. Ghost?
Oh, you can't trust an apparition, you know. Turn your back and they'll pinch your bum every time.
That is a twist. Come, Flame. We must examine the crime scene immediately.
Well, those are Sir Langelot's footprints, all right.
Look, Flame. If Langelot left by the window, then why is there a second set of footprints leading from the far side of the bed to the door? How did Holmes miss that? Or did he? Blacker and Presley were right. There is a ghost. And it's a biggie.
Should we go for Mr. Holmes?
No, I think I have a pretty good hunch where the ghost is heading.
Stepmother Griddle is the ghost? Maybe she should cut down a bit on the talcum powder before bed.
Queen Griddle, please wake up! Everything is going to be fine now.
That's easy for you to say. Some fiend has stolen my tapioca. And what am I doing in the pantry in the middle of the night?
You've been sleepwalking. Well, sleep-eating, actually. Each night since you've been on your diet, you've mistaken the castle clock for the dinner bell. You put on the ruby hat of Omar the Ham and made your way to the pantry for a midnight snack. That's why you've gained weight even though you stuck to your diet.
Oh, thank you, Flicker. I feel so vindicated. This calls for a treat. I do believe my tapioca is close by.
Oh, I think that Sir Locksmith of Holmes can answer that question. Can't you, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, hello. Tapioca?
Yes, thank you. But first, how about an appetizer of the ruby hat of Omar the Ham? You see, Mr. Holmes here figured out that
I'm still in charge of this investigation. Having examined the crime scene, I noticed Griddle's footprints were also in the talcum powder on the floor, but leading out of the door. I surmised that she indeed was sleep-eating, and that the ring must have fallen off into one of the dishes she had been sampling. The trick was to find out which dish. Sure enough, it was the tapioca.
But what about Langelot's footprints in the Queen's bedroom?
Oh, he was just trying to change the settings on the Queen's scale. He was probably tired of her constant moaning and whining about it.
Moan and whine? I never moan and whine! Isn't that right, everyone?
Never, milady, never.
So true, my dear. So true.
Bunny is our queen.
But one question remains. Why did you frame Sir Langelot?
Oh, I needed time to find out where Griddle dropped the ruby. There's no work in solving crimes. I just needed a little nest egg to tide me over. Sir Locksmith of Holmes will be back. Mark my words.
Detective work is too cerebral.
Yes, my head hurts too. Now I know why the police wear helmets.
Yes, my queen. I would rather have rotted in the dungeon than to stand up in public and take credit for a good deed that was meant to remain unheralded.
You are a noble knight, Sir Langelot, and your advice to refrain from dieting and thereby increase my amount of beauty sleep is brilliant!
I think we'll all be getting a lot more sleep with the Queen packing it on. Packing in her diet.
Perhaps not everyone, my lord.
Come on, Gov, give it a try. The years fly by when you got a song in your heart.
And a nice slick of ouchie on your throat.
We've got a lovely slick of ouchie.
growing in the back of the road. Come on, everybody!